Hey, this is Tracy with Color Me This. This is going to be episode 91 because I snuck in an episode 90 unboxing. So this is a daily color. We're continuing on with our green dinosaur. And my family left very early this morning, and before they left, I took votes on colors for the next two dinosaurs. So I have colors picked out for those, and I am going to continue and clean up this dinosaur. He is just about finished. I think it is ironic how often I pick green, being that it's like my favorite color, and it's a color that is difficult to get the variety needed in the sets. And I have to say, for the 72, that this has a nice arrangement of greens. I am very satisfied as a green, as my favorite colorist, and none of the greens going into the darks are scratchy or feel like the pigment is sandy or anything. It feels very good. I'm very happy with these greens. The colors that we get to use, both of the sets of colors have their limits, and so we will just see how I'm able to work this out. And I will actually say I never printed a practice sheet. I'm trying to not get in the habit of always doing practice sheets. So the last image I colored that I did not print out a sheet to rough in my colors was the big moth that had two sides, so double moths. So this particular set of three dinosaurs, I decided I was going to also do without a sample that I can do mock-up coloring on. So it's just kind of fun to sometimes challenge yourself. I also, My Colorful Country Life put up a video. Her name's Karen, and she did a video of a tracking sheet that she uses for her coloring pages. Now, she does lots of coloring pages and lots of coloring books. I am in my first one, so I will say that I created my entry. I'll have a link to her video, and then from that video is a link to her downloadable. It is a Word document, so you do need to have Word. It has formulas in it. I am not experienced with formulas in Word. I do lots of formulas in Excel, however. And so I went ahead and created an entry. I calculated, I believe, 81 pages in this book if you include the tiny images in the back, as well as the inside front cover image and the title front and back image. So I have 81, and this is I think my 13th page. I have completed 12 pages, but of course a couple of them have very small images. So that's not saying a ton. All right, so we've got him colored. I have in the greens, the mossy olive greens. I have some greens on his head that I want to do, not in the mossy greens. So let's grab just a random bluey green combination. These are so small that it's only going to be two colors. Oh, I see. I need grass green for these little bits. So I will be grabbing those out. And then I have no idea what to color these little guys. Just random cute little leaves. I also forgot the dark on that leaf. So let's get these colored in. I don't feel, you know what these feel like to me? I was trying to think what pencil set. They actually feel somewhat like the Pablos. I don't feel, I'm not a big Prisma user, but I don't think they feel like Prismas, because Prismas I have a very hard time controlling. I feel that they are more on the buttery, creamy side than the silky, and I think that these are more in the silky side of things. I only need to go grab that olivey color. I used magic black and black to get the darkest darks on the olives. Right here. This is what was missing. I am going to be doing a background on the leaves, and I'm going to do a background with the dinosaurs as well. Let's get some of these grassy green. I noticed yesterday filming I was coloring over on the head side, and my knuckle was making the focus change again, so I still have, that's still going to rear its ugly head every once in a while. Let's grab, I have blue green and the moss green, so I have moss green on this side, so maybe on this side I will do the bluey green. We had to get up at 3:45 a.m., which for me is pure torture. But I did it, and we got my parents off to the airport. We landed exactly to the minute to the departure side of Alaska Airlines for them, which was perfect. And they have already, then we came home and napped, and they have landed. They are now on the shuttle because they have, boy, an hour and a half ride up to there where the shuttle drops them off, and then a friend is picking them up. It is quite the journey for them. All right, so I have, this color is called pine. Here we go. And yeah, I really like how smooth the body came out with the full array of colors. Okay, now I'm gonna got my blacks. There's magic black and black. And then I do have, actually I don't have a gray. So this is magic black, which is more of a very dark gray. So I'm going to go ahead and all right, I think I'm going to call this done. And I will be experimenting. I'm thinking for this 2-page spread, I think both sides are going to end up with light blue. And maybe on the dinosaur side, some little puffy clouds. Hints of puffy clouds. I'm just putting the shading where the dots are. The dots are like my little indicator of some shadowing. I'm not sure if that was what was intended, but that works. Okay, so I'm going to put all these greens away. All right, so for the next dinosaur, which is for me, this guy is a Triceratops, of course, instead of the I don't know what we would call that, the horns, they have leaves. All right, so we're doing a orange-bodied Triceratops. I am starting with light goldenrod A312. We're going into a canary color, A313. Not doing too much of these because we want to get right into our oranges. If you see me lift my pencil, I actually, when I lift, I noticed because I watched the video last night that went live today, and with these hex, I can see that I am rotating the pencil. It's not so obvious on the round pencils, but I just, as a rule, pick up periodically and rotate so that the end doesn't get flattened. I try to keep the tip somewhat pointy at all times by rotating. I'm getting warm, and I have a light hoodie on, so I will be pausing in a moment. And that's me. I will pause it right now, and I'll be right back. All right, I am back. Moving on. Next color is Bumblebee Yellow, 315.
moving to a darker color. We're now up to yellow ochre 316. Okay, we gotta get down into the oranges. Now, we only have 2 true oranges. We are now on orange. So, let's see how well we do with the actual orange. So, I will be doing an overlay on some of these yellows to orange them up. And I want his face to be a little darker. And again, since this is a very smooth paper, I am trying to leave a little bit of that tooth available for the next layer. So where normally for me, I would do an underlayer of a neutral, so that very lightest yellow, I might have gone all the way to the bottom of the dinosaur, but because this is such smooth paper, I find that I like to leave some tooth for each of the layers of color from the lightest to the darkest. So if I'm over here on the tail, I can feel that already this tooth is pretty filled in. It feels a little bit slick, and the color doesn't stick to it as much because there's no tooth to stick to. So that is why I have been trying to leave some of the paper showing for the next layers. I am very happy with how the green ombre effect I did on the body of the upper dinosaur worked out. It seemed very smooth. It was effortless to do. I didn't have to go in and do any erasing. I had already noted that when I did the bottom houses with the Spear Farbens, that they were very sensitive to pressure, and if I made any mistake at all, or made any inconsistency in the pressure that I used, that I had to do some erasing and reapply, being more careful. So now I'm going to my darkest orange, which is called Orange Red 318. And I actually am going up here into the sort of shadow areas. And I will be coming back to smooth all this out. So we'll have his behind legs be dark, and then I'll probably add a gray or a brown for these back legs, the ones on the other side. Okay, so now I'm going back. We'll go with our very lightest color. So I didn't want all of these dinosaurs to have the same gradient ombre color effect. And he's got a lot of the leaf patterns on his back, unlike the other one. Alright, so I wanted his tummy. So his chin is light colored. And so is his tummy. And these legs. I'm getting a little bit of the crumbs, just a little bit, and it is coming because of me going over the layers. I'm going to try to get a little more shadow in here. Get the front of his toes. I grabbed the middle, this time yellow ochre 316. All right, I need to move on to the leaves. I think I've got my fun tones. I will not be brushing off these crumbs. I've got my brush right here. They're not going to get wiped with my fingers. I already learned that lesson yesterday. Okay, so next I am grabbing some leaf tones. I'm grabbing 3 tones here. Let's see how we will use them. We've got rusty red, cinnamon, and dark chocolate. All right, and I do have an update on moose wood. Moose wood is a metallic, but that is just the paint on the pencil. It is actually, maybe we will work on his hair. See how it is the color of gold that some of the metallic gold pencils look like? But it is not metallic. If you look very carefully, it is not metallic. So, I'm not sure why they chose to make that paint on the barrel gold looking. Probably will come in and do more with that. I do have caramel. I find that the moose wood with the gold barrel doesn't fill in the tooth quite as smooth, so it's possible that it was intended to be a metallic and the formula just didn't work out for it to be metallic, because all of these other colors are much smoother than that. All right, now comes the fun part. We're gonna just do some fun things with these leaves. I have my sharpener because like that I would like I'm using this as like the shadow tone. That is me touching. I have my camera on the charger. I am going to unplug this. right, let's see what kind of tones we can come up with here. I have going deeper into the orangey browns. I'm going to try rusty red. I do have that caramel, but I think I'm going to I am doing this very light pressure in case I want to switch up the color a bit. Because I have not actually mapped out the colors, this is a bit of a trial and error. This is Cinnamon 337. All right, so now we have this different brown tone, which is the dark chocolate A354. How are we doing for time? 35 minutes. I'm going to take it by seeing that. So these 3 leaves are different. And then we have, I've got more browns here. I am going to go back to the rust these two leaves are different. So I might change those tones. I do need to grab moose wood. Because underneath the chin, alright, I've got a few more browns. So I have this russet brown A325, and I think I'm gonna use that on the orangish brown here, these two big leaves. And this one, actually this one was broken off. The tip was broken off, and I don't know if I did that. I might have accidentally done that. And I was thinking, there is this color called dark ash. I was thinking darkening this up. Change those up. All right, now we got to bring in some lighter tones. I have caramel, and I know that this is caramel over here. Let's see. How that looks there. I think I even use the caramel. We'll use leave the ends the lightest, and I can tell I'm going to have to darken his body because he's not looking very orange anymore. Dark chocolate.
Nope, I see some little... I want to show you guys what my right hand looks like. It is loaded with all of these colors, holding them all. So this is the moose wood that I used for his mane. I'm going to use it down on his legs. Now I'm not going to hold quite so many. Let's do more, a little more orange. I was thinking that I could add some orange highlights to these leaves. My goal is to make him be predominantly orange in the end, even with all the browns. Let's go back here. I have to remember that the base of this was caramel on these others. All right, I'm going to set that down. I'm going to look for cinnamon. This is the cinnamon. Okay. All right, we've got some. This is the cinnamon. Oh, what color is this? Caramel. Caramel. I've got this variety going. It's pretty good. Back to caramel. Yep, caramel. Where are we at? Oh, I am overtime. I was hoping, boy, I am so ambitious thinking I was going to get 2 dinosaurs done. So that is not the case. I am going to leave this guy to finish him off. I believe I am going to be taking some of the very light color. I even have shiitake sitting here, right here, that I might do a glaze around these white tips and add a little bit of a tone to them. So that's all I've got for today. I could just keep going, but I need to stop right now. So here was the green that we finished. Moving on to the orange with brown leaves, using all of the tones of orange and brown that I have. So do all the YouTube things, like, share, comment, and subscribe. And we will do this all again tomorrow. See you then.